Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today I am doing a review of a TV show that I wanted to review for a little while because I feel like that this show doesn't really get talked about enough, and that is of course Nowhere Boys. I am going to do a review of the first season in this video. I'm going to do season 2, the Book of Shadows movie, and then depending on if I want to continue the series or not, I'll think about it, because I wasn't, and I can give you I might be able to review the other seasons that I didn't watch as a kid and give you my thoughts on them, because I didn't necessarily see how you could continue it, really. But of course, I am reviewing Nowhere Boys Season 1, starring Rahat Adams and Matt Testro and many others. 4 boys return from a school excursion to discover they are sucked into a parallel world into which they were never born. Now, I remember ABC 3 promoting the shit out of this show as it was coming out. It was like, Nowhere Boys is coming soon. The big event, Nowhere Boys. And this is one of those shows that, one of the reasons why I like this show so much is because this show isn't a show that goes epic and is like it's big, but it's not big in a way that's like big explosions, big battles and stuff. It's like there are fights, but the fights are like almost like they're like chase scenes and that sort of stuff, and And this show is sci-fi, but this show is very sci-fi in the way that keeps it very grounded in reality, if you know what I mean. Even when it goes into the bigger and better spectacle type stuff, it doesn't feel like a big scale type show. They keep it kind of grounded in reality, and like, when you start introducing like parallel worlds and demons chasing the boys and it possessing things like dogs, old girlfriends, and teachers, and affecting parents and that sort of stuff, you kind of know that's sci-fi. But when you say it to someone, it's like, wow, that sounds like a very sci-fi kind of show. Where it's like, it is sci-fi, but it's kind of pull back in a way that's real. And I remember being such a big fan of this show, in fact, that oh, actually I don't have the box set up here, but I have a box set downstairs, right, of this show, because I remember for my birthday, I think, or Christmas, I got a gift voucher to spend at Sandy. So I went down to Sandy. I was like, oh, there isn't really anything I want here, and I was like, the Nowhere Boys collection will be a good thing for me to get, though, because it was the 2 seasons I love and the movie, which I love, which is one of my favorite movies of all time, right? So I kind of I looked at it and I was like, and then I was like, oh, actually, you know what? Let's do it. So. And in that box set, I have a photo that I took with Rahat Adams. His last name was different in this season than it is in the second season in the movie. But yeah, like, I met Rahat Adams at a where were we? We were in Sydney. We met him in Sydney just randomly at an art museum, and we were like, Is that Sam from Nowhere Boys? And then, of course, my brother was going like, oh, come on, Jack, go and ask him. And I'm like, no, mate, you do it. I'm too nervous. And you can tell which one's the bravest one out of the brothers. But no, like, we took a photo with him. He was very nice. We didn't really talk about the show. It was very much like a how you kind of like how at Comic Cons, how you get the signing autographs and that sort of stuff, and you kind of go in and you go out. That's very much what it was like, where it was like, all right, go up to him, take a photo, go. That's very much what it was. I wanted to talk to him and say how much the show means to me and my brother, because me and my brother would watch the show constantly. We would, every time that they would say spells, we would rewind the show and write in our black notebooks, entitle it our Book of Shadows, and write down the spells that they would say and do like little sketches of what those spells in the show do to each thing and that sort of stuff. So there was a lot in there, which I think that there's a lot of things in this show, and the way that they switch up the characters in the other universe is cool. Where it's like in their world, Felix and Ellen are goths, but in the other world, Vivian, Andy's sister, is a goth, right? And Felix's brother can't walk in the main universe, which in the other universe he can. And also, like, God, what else? But in the one where the boys don't exist, he can walk, right? So I looked at the things that happened in what they wrote for the main universe and was like, okay, what are the faults of, I mean, not the faults, but what are the bad things about this universe, or the bad and the good things in this universe that can be the good or the bad things in the other universe. I thought that was very interesting. Now, the villain of this series is a demon. It's what they call it's a a restoring demon is what they call it, right? And the restoring demon basically knows that the boys can't be in this reality, so they're after Felix the whole time because he's the one who casts the spell, and you can kind of see in that you can't go like, oh, okay, this is how you kind of that's why it's after them, because then when they don't exist in that universe, the demon's not there because there's no like universal eruptions, right? So it's kind of that sort of thing, which is very, very interesting to me. And also when you have the whole thing of like how in the third episode we have a shot of the demon in the third episode of just kind of looking, and then we have other things like that creates like the storm and the symbols that it makes, like the chaos symbols, and the possession of the dogs and the possession of Mia and Mr. Bates and Oscar and Roland and Officer Riles and that sort of stuff, right? So that's all very, very interesting. And like, so what I like about this show too is that we can get real character development through the boys through being in another universe. So like Sam talking to Mia and how he wasn't a good person to her in his universe, but through this universe, through the universes that they're stuck in, he realizes that. So then in the second season, I can only say because I've already seen it multiple times, that he starts to become a good boyfriend again. Like, there does become a point where he's kind of like, where it's kind of like, I'm not good to her, but it's like, he's mainly hiding from her because in this universe she doesn't really know about the spells and stuff. So you kind of get why that sort of stuff happens, right? So we kind of get all of that character development throughout this show, through this other universe. I think that's such a cool idea to do character development. And we get informed in episode 8 that Phoebe has a sister, Alice, was Phoebe's sister, and she lost her when Phoebe was 7 years old. And obviously that is a big impact for the second season, right? And then how in episode 11 the boys need to save their mothers from themselves because they aren't from this universe. When they touch them and stuff, they get like bruises, or they start sneezing, or they get a headache or something like that. So there's a lot of stuff that they get from the boys because they don't exist in that world. So I think that that's very, very interesting type stuff. And like how, and also the development of the second season is interesting too. Like the same thing when you get the whole thing of what's it called? Like the necklace that Ellen gives Andy in the last episode. I remember that being a big plot point of an episode in the second season. It's not like a big plot point that's a plot point throughout the whole show, but it is a part of a plot that happens throughout the second season. It's not like the necklace is mentioned in every episode of the second season, but it is a big part of an episode in the second season, and why the second season is important and pushes the story forward. And the same thing with like we get teased of something else in season 2 that if you've seen the show you know what I'm talking about, but I know most people haven't. And you see when Felix is playing with is cooking stuff, and Jake's having a picnic, and Andy's washing his hands, and Sam sneezes, right? So even just by saying that sort of stuff, you kind of get hints of what they are, of what's special about them in their main universe, because they went to this other universe. And Felix even says in one of the last episodes in this season of like, you have potential to do magic. So that alone kind of makes you go like, okay, I kind of get where this is going. I love the character arcs, like Jake being a bully, and then over the course of this season being friends with Felix and Andy and being really good mates with them, and all that stuff. I love that. So I think I need to give Nowhere Boys Season 1 a 5 out of 5. It is my favourite TV show of all time, and I have seen good shows made in Australia and cast with Australians in it, right? But not as good as this. This is lightning in a bottle, these first 2 seasons in the movie. Like, normally it's like the first 2 seasons, the first 1 season is good, and then the rest are terrible, or the first few seasons are terrible, and then it starts to get better. This show is consistent, especially when you go, especially the Jake, Andy, Sam, and Felix era of the show, where you have seasons 1, 2, and the Book of Shadows movie. They're consistently good, and they tell a story in the Nowhere Boy saga that can't be done again. And we've seen stuff that they've tried to do, and I might review the other seasons just in case, but you can't go like, yeah, I can't understand the drop in quality with this, which is very, very interesting. So, yeah, so guys, I will do Season 2, so guys, please hit the like button down below if you haven't already, subscribe, also hit the little bell icon to get notified future videos that I make. I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Bye.
Hey there. Subscribe to my channel. And also press this bell icon.